Hello, y'all.
Yo. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Pop the NEردom.
What's up, people?
Your home for popping nerd shit.
All the things nerd.
And all the things nerd. This is, Hanz and I love the nerd world. Sit down to talk about this stuff. This is your boy Six.
Your boy Hanz.
And
see how long before you knock one of these things out.
Hansi and I have a bet, a silent bet going on that this shit is gonna fall.
Some way, somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one of these, or one of this, or one of this, and everything's fucking going down, and you will be here to see it.
Yeah, we set this shit up like 3 times before recording.
Well, let's just say it'll be okay. Let's real quick jump into what we're here to talk about because we've been rusty.
Yes.
And so we need to catch up with a lot of shit, but apping, which is being
streaming.
I don't want to call it that because it feels like I'm peeing.
Streaming.
Like a stream of urine. Apping, I said. Apping. That's what I'm calling it from now on. And you're going to make fun of me every single time.
In the app world.
But, being apping a ton. My boy right here, Mando.
Yes.
Let's get a little bit into the last episode, which has been fantastic. Just aired.
Episode 6.
Episode 6 just aired. And what a great episode.
Awesome episode.
So, like Mandalorian in general, and I'm going to start with this point, it seems like every episode has some sort of basis on something else, which is the influences of it. So you have a 7 Samurai episode, which is the samurai's influence of Star Wars, very directly in that episode, with when they go into the farm and it's exactly 7 Samurai. You have the Gunslinger episode, which I call the fan service episode because they go to Tatooine and there's all these things and it really, really feels like the first Star Wars movie in a lot of ways. Like it's a little quirky and it's a little silly and even a little campy a little bit. But that is more like an older Western. It's more like The Searchers or not the Wild Bunch, but there's another movie that I'm thinking of. You don't watch Westerns? You're not a Western guy?
No, I barely.
Yeah. But, I forget the name of this movie, but it doesn't matter. It had that Western feeling, like the second episode had like the Rambo feeling. They all have this, or the third episode had that Rambo feeling. The second episode had that legend feeling. They all have a feeling of something. This episode had a very strong feeling of alien. It really was a space episode. In a space prison, and
the red,
and then being hunted by somebody, you know what I mean?
Being hunted, but also with the people that are hunting, and it's
right.
It was like layers to
right, but and it's not that it's exactly because none of those things are exactly like what I'm mentioning, but right, there's some it's like making a vanilla cake. So you make your own shape vanilla cake, but it's definitely vanilla, and that's what I mean. This is this episode was very alien-like. It had that fear of being caught kind of thing, and the
because it was who's really hunting who,
right? But also it's there's a lot of tension through the whole episode, right?
The underlying tension that you don't
you don't know who's coming from where, and it's a very anxiety, a bit anxiety bringing. I thought it was excellent.
As soon as they opened up the prison, and I saw that it was they were related. I was like, oh man, it's going there. I knew it. I was like, oh man.
Couple of things worth mentioning. Let me go through my notes. So that was my first note. The alien feel of it. it was pretty strong.
My first point is I like how they in every episode they give you just a little bit more about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like these were people obviously he was running with from before.
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, my boy. But it got me thinking, like, yo, goddamn, what kind of person? So this is a watered down version of who he, I guess, used to be,
mm-hmm.
younger self. You know what I mean? So it got me thinking, like, I wonder how old he is.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I was like, really like, wait a second. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
like, how old is you? Like, and how old does a Mandalorian live to be? Because we don't know.
Exactly.
He gave me a feeling like they're like normal humans to some degree, specifically because when he met the Yoda baby, he was supposed to be 50. So I don't know if that's his understanding of other species or his own species. But how old is he really? In his 60s, in his 50s, in his 40s? Like, what's going on here? Did he start when he was 10 and now he's in his 30s? Because then that would have been a long time ago anyways, you know what I mean? But my second point is seeing him go wild on those robots. By himself while everybody's just watching.
Yes.
Oh, man. That was bananas. It was so good. It was very action-packed and it was impressive because we see him be a badass, but not at that degree. Not the close quarters. I'm gonna dispose of 7 robots by myself.
Assassin's Creed-ish.
Yeah. And then like the episode before, which is the Seven Samurai episode, as I like to call it. The episode before, he fought hand to hand with what's her name, the MMA fighter, and you kind of felt like
that he got his ass whooped.
Well, but she's an MMA fighter, but like you kind of feel like this guy from this episode should have been able to hold his own against her, and he couldn't. Not that I blame him, but what I mean is like they look like they were at the same level of fighting this episode versus last. You know what I mean? And I feel like that was a little bit of like all right, okay, I guess.
They do a real good job of pushing him one way and then bringing him back, pushing him another way and then bringing him back. So that's one of the. He's a very multi-layered character.
And fantastic. The third thing. Oh,
I also had this. The second point is the same thing was the action also too. The action was amazing, especially I like their use of like the cuts and the red scenes and stuff like that. It was very enjoyable.
And like even action with Baby Yoda being hunted by the droid.
Yo, that was my
I'm sorry. Well, let me go to. You want to go to your last point since I mentioned it?
Yeah, where Baby Yoda hiding and moving around, and that was such a good cat and mouse.
Right.
So good. Yo,
it was cute and funny at the same time. Like it was not as serious taking as the other cat and mouse because that one was like, motherfuckers is getting killed, or so you think. But the difference being like the one with Yoda, so you don't know what's gonna happen to Baby Yoda, but he still looks like a little puppet.
He still looked like he was enjoying it,
right?
And I love when he went like that.
Right, and he thought he's like, oh shit.
He said, "Wait, hold up."
Let me find out. I got explosive thoughts. Well, my third point, which is a much weaker point, is the cameos for the episode. Bill Burr, which was fantastic, and almost you can almost hear him say "fuck" every other sentence, but he didn't. But like you can almost hear him be like, "Oh, what the fuck!" and he was great. He was so much fun. He was very menacing and fun, not funny per se, but very fun, and that was fucking great. And my boy from Sons of Anarchy, right?
Yes.
You had the guy that played the voice of Anakin Skywalker through the Clone Wars being the guy that they killed that was flying the ship.
Yes.
The one human that was flying the ship, they had him. The 3 X-Wing pilots at the end of the episode were the directors of all of the show so far.
Oh,
so you have Filoni in there.
That's fire.
You have the lady that directed this episode in there. And or the guy that directed the episode, and the lady that directed the episode before. So the three of the four directors, because Jon Favreau was the only one that didn't show up, but they directed every episode except for Favreau that directed one of them. That was fucking cool, because you kind of looking at them. And the moment I saw Filoni, I was like, well, hold up, is that it? And then I had to look it up in the episode. Like, let me see. So I was trying to look it up. Then I stopped because I was like, oh, I'm missing out the show. And I started watching. So then I stayed for the credits to be like, who are these people? They never showed. So then I had to. Well, I don't know if they did, but because I started looking at the paintings at the end of the episode. But then I went and I looked for who was in the episode 2. And it turned out to be them. So that was a ton of fun.
That was awesome. That was good. I didn't know that. Gotta rewatch it.
Yeah. All those cameos were really good.
I really watched every episode 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, no lie.
You have to. It's
just great.
Yeah. My favorite cameo though was my boy from Sons of Anarchy, because he brought criminal element in your mind, because that's what you associate him with. And so like he brings
underworld.
Right. So he really brings right. He really brings this legitimate sense of like,
and look, and they took him far. He was back in the underworld. He was with some people. We thought he killed them. They brought him right back. He killed them. So they blew. We don't know what happened to Old Boy at the end, but for the most part, you know what I mean.
Because then everybody got their due. Well, his boy is like, pay me, and you're fucked. Goodbye. I'm out of here. All right. Good episode.
Yeah, great episode. Can't wait. 7 and 8.
That's next week, huh?
Yep.
Both of them?
Not sure.
I think the last 2 episodes go together.
Because it's gonna end when Star Wars comes out that week, or yeah, right?
So I think this week coming up, they have an episode Monday and an episode Friday. So this Monday is going to be heavy. Speaking of Mondays, let's talk about the penultimate episode of Watchmen.
And who watches the Watchmen?
We watches the Watchmen. Let me see. I got my 3 points here, but holy shit, were they big points. Number 1, the episode in general. A lot of information.
A lot of information.
He did an amazing job of filling in the characters and where they've been, and at the meantime, closing out so many loops that you kind of felt like, holy shit, this is why this is here, this is why this is here, this is why this is happening, this is why this guy's here, this is why this is going on here. Fantastic. So well written, imaginative as fuck, very creative, fucking acted to the fucking max, because everybody's fucking fantastic in this show. In every episode, everybody is. Everybody really truly is.
The cast deserves
right, all kinds of fucking praise. But this shit here, bro, whoa. So my first point to that point, not the cast, but the point of storytelling, is the storytelling through time jumps. Was so fantastic. Number 1, seeing time through the eyes of Dr. Manhattan, which is complicated, but you can kind of understand it because, once again, if time is not necessarily linear. It's linear to us because that's how we perceive it. But these are things that a lot of sci-fi and fantasy always talks about, like Deep Space Nine, always with the prophets, always talked about time because there will be like death and time. Excuse me, 2 concepts that they don't understand because they're not part of that lexicon. And the idea that time is linear, it's really only a human thing.
Only a human thing.
We think in past, present, and future instead of understanding experience, and that experience really, But the idea that time slows down, like time slows down when you're having fun, like all of this, the concept of time can change. So
Julius Caesar just added a month and then Augustus added another one. So.
Right. Right.
Like, think about that, yo, and that's true.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but even these guys have been around for a long time, and the idea that when this is done running,
it's an hour.
Right. But
says who?
Says who? Like, and this is just a concept that we created. We understand it. And
but Dr. Manhattan does not.
But Dr. Manhattan lives in a non-linear way, so that it's just like everything is happening at once, because everything does happen at once to some degree or another. And what's to tell you that when you're reliving a thought, you're not there? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a concept of time. And this episode made such a fucking good job of breaking that apart and giving it
an orgasm.
Yeah, dude, like giving it like a lot of dimension so that you can comprehend it like he comprehends it.
This was like the nerd girl winning pageant.
Yeah.
Like, no lie, yo. You just love everything about it, and then it's like, and you're beautifully packaged.
Right. What's your first point there?
My first point was the theme of innocence. Right? There was this theme of innocence and losing innocence. In the beginning, it starts with, well, not even in the beginning, because everything starts at the same time. Right. So it starts with Dr. Manhattan and Angela, but also John, pre-Dr. Manhattan, and Mrs. Nutcracker or whatever, the two clones that he remakes, and when he catches them having sex, you see how he grabs the apple. The apple is always the scent of the garden. The place where he was at was like a safe haven. You know what I mean? Because they were refugees. Right. So that's like their garden. Right. This is something very important. He grabs the apple. He drops the apple when he sees them having sex.
Losing his innocence. Like Adam and Eve when they ate the fruit.
And then not only that, though, he said that's the first time he knew love. Remember, his mom left them for an SS officer. And then his father is a engineer. You can say he's an engineer. He's a watchmaker.
He's a watchmaker. And a Jewish watchmaker.
And you already know that is... He didn't have much time to hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, I'm just adding a little sauce to it.
But also, he didn't seem like a very, and we're making a lot of assumptions based on like
scenes, just few frames,
of seeing this guy. But he didn't seem.
But he also says it himself. That's the first time he knew love.
Yeah, it's a German dude from the 1920s. He probably wasn't very keen on hugging your child because that probably meant that you make a soft kid. I mean, we have to understand this is the social structure of Germany in the teens and the 1800s too. Like what does that really mean?
And then also, he restarts that innocence thing when he becomes Dr. Manhattan because he's neither innocent nor guilty. He's just like that.
He's just it.
And then he regains that at that moment when Angela goes out there fighting for him, even though she doesn't know what will happen. But he knows. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's a beautiful, just like
big circle.
And and that's what leads me to believe that I think he's gonna die.
Yeah, I am. If I was a betting man, I'm betting money on Manhattan dying.
I'm not saying it's 100%, but I'm gonna put my money on it.
But think about it, Dr. Manhattan at this point, 2019, he's over 100 years old. So, although, interestingly, to that point, nothing ever ends, right?
Exactly.
So how do you know what's happening? My second point, because it's kind of everything is intertwined, like this episode, is Ozymandias.
That's mine too, but not exactly. Yeah, I don't worry.
But because I have Ozymandias, interestingly, trying to become like it shows you. It's interesting because I put Ozymandias, but really it's another sentiment in the show, which is grandeur. Dr. Manhattan feels like a god. He kind of says it in the beginning when Angela is like, well, I hate Dr. Manhattan because he killed this man who then response to him killing all these men in Vietnam resulted in my parents getting killed, and that's why I hate him. So he unable to deal with the feelings of that because he's still human. That's one of the points that they make in the comic book, that at the end he is a human being. He just has a different understanding of a lot of things, so he feels a little detached.
It gets to him a little later.
It's just he's detached, but he still has pride in all of these things. So he builds this Garden of Eden, right? And really, he put people there to praise him. And then he couldn't take all that praise because it wasn't challenging to him. Isn't that crazy that it's really about human interaction the whole time?
The whole time.
And then he offers it to Ozymandias, who also was like, look, I saved these people from destroying each other, and no one knows it. And Dr. Manhattan says, oh, you want to be praised? I got a place for you. He only has motherfuckers that are there just to praise you.
Does that sound like a place you like to go to?
Yeah, he's like, hell yeah. And the idea that he, just like Dr. Manhattan, are so maybe arrogant or that's not the word. They're so full of themselves and they have such an image of grandeur that when they don't have any battles for this praise, they get bored of it because they want to prove that they need to be praised. It's crazy, dude, all up here. And Ozymandias lives in this world, takes it all in, absorbs all of this praise, gets bored of it within 2 or 3 years, because you can see it with the candles. And at this point, he's like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm done. But another thing that I wanted to point out about Ozymandias, which is a separate point to this, the fucking horseshoe. But I'm gonna
I was gonna ask you about that.
Because the thing is, the first thing that came to my mind when they mentioned the horseshoe is that at some point, every time the celebration comes with the cake, they give him a horseshoe. And he's like, it's not time yet. Or put that back, I don't need it. Or it's not the time yet. But because I think the last time they showed it, or at some point he said, it's not the right time. And then he has it in the cake and he goes crazy. So, I'm under the assumption that Dr. Manhattan told him at some point, if you ever want to escape this place, or there will be a time when you wanted to escape this place, it will be with the horseshoe. Or you will see it in the horseshoe. Whatever he said something because he's kind of cryptic himself. Because it doesn't make sense that he sees the horseshoe and starts going fucking bananas. But I do remember that one of the servants told him, here's the horseshoe. He was like, it's not time yet.
Yes.
So, I don't know what that means. I don't know how many candles are on that cake. So I don't know how deep into the stay he is. But it looked like a lot of candles, 6 or 7, maybe 5, 6 or 7. So it may be like 5 years into his stay there. So there's another 5, 4, 3 years before he makes it back to Earth, to 2019. See what I'm saying? But that Dr. Manhattan shit was fantastic. Ozymandias shit was fantastic. The idea of him having something saved for when he wanted to get rid of Ozymandias. You know what I mean? Of Dr. Manhattan.
Oh yeah, yes.
So like, there's a lot of in there.
That's Batman.
Yeah.
I drink coffee with you every day, but I got something in the back just in case you act wild. Just letting you know.
Just letting you know, I will take your ass down because I'm a regular human being and you're a god. Just letting you know.
Just letting you know. I got that. Had day one, bro. Before I heard it, you said, nope. Not up a hill.
That's that Tower of Babel. That's that Tower of Babel storyline where he was like, I don't trust none of you motherfuckers because if somebody takes hold of your mind or you decide that you want to take over the world, I can't kill you because I'm a man. So I found a way to fuck y'all.
Now, they did a really good job of humanizing Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
This episode.
Yeah.
First was with, showing us his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Like showing us John. You know what I'm saying? Then it was with seeing him like him communicate with Angela. Understanding the joke. Oh, that was a joke. I see. Right. You know what I mean? Like he still has it there. Okay. Right. Also, at the end, when he falls in love with her, when he says that this was the moment of falling. So him getting back those human emotions, and also him even calling this guy a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. Like, oh, shit,
he tried to kill me.
Yeah,
but he's my friend.
It's my guy. You can't kill me, so whatever. Like if you bulletproof and your boy shoots you, are you mad?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, me too. I'm killing him. How you know I was bulletproof in that spot? I ain't never tell nobody.
But even just the action of it is like, I know I'm bulletproof, but come on, man, you want to grab a gun and shoot me? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, this episode had a lot of that was very humanizing, you're right. And it was very, very making you see. It was very emotional, this episode, because it transferred emotions to you. Like, I don't know how I would handle this or I would handle that, but I'm seeing it, so,
And remember, he relives every moment he's ever had, every moment.
Well, he's living them at the same time. So he's not real.
He's just right. All the time. So it's like, that was another moment when he said that. He was like that. When was the last time you felt scared? He was like, blah, 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 blah. She was like, oh, it was 70 years ago or whatever time. He goes, no, I'm still in that moment right now.
Right.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Bars.
Yeah.
And the album coming. I do a little skit.
Bars. Here, my third point. This bothered me to no end. And I want to know your take on it. Why do they never show Dr. Manhattan's face until he is at the end when he's the black dude? When he turns back to Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah, they never show John.
Why? See, the thing I thought of is back in the day when they made movies about Jesus Christ.
They never gave him features to not favor any...
No. Back in the day until like the 70s. They always shot Jesus Christ from behind, from the side, from the neck down. So I wonder if that's what was happening. Like you're shooting a god, so you don't show their face until he's been humanized, and then you show the face.
That's fine. When's your mixing?
Bars. But it bothered me to no end because I just didn't understand why they never showed his face. Ever. Not once. Until he's...
I can't even lie. That makes sense to me. Like, you just told me their answer. Yeah, bro. Like, is it raining outside? Yeah. Yeah. I know. Fuck, bro. That's good. You blew my mind on camera, dude. I'm still scratching my head, yo. Wow. That was good.
All right. Great episode.
Wait, last. Well, these are on points. These are my last two predicaments. Guess wishes. Kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Lady True was definitely Ozymandias' daughter.
Oh.
I believe it.
Okay.
That's the one loop they haven't closed yet. She says something about her father. I wish I would have rewatched the episode so I could quoted it. Yeah, exactly. But she says something about not having her father or not waking him up or something like that. That's why her father is... Because she has...
Well, it could have been Ozymandias, but it could have also been the comedian.
Lady True?
Yeah. Because the comedian was in Vietnam, fucking impregnating him and left and right. And then killing them.
And do you think Dr. Manhattan has transferred his powers
through the eggs that he makes breakfast for the kids? My son.
Yes.
My son.
And I promise you, I didn't even hear that shit nowhere else.
I said that to my boy, and he was like, "Holy shit!"
The waffles.
Because they made such a point of her breaking the eggs, him creating the egg, him asking for the eggs, all of that.
Mad egg. And I know
all of that.
I know that the egg is a common symbolization for not only life but also the quote what came before the chicken or the egg. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, my son.
Yo. Woo! We podding, baby.
All right.
And we'll be back for messages from our local sponsors.
that's the end of the video. And bye. Don't forget to subscribe. That's it.